Join us on another adventure with Wild and Free Interior Alaska, where we explore life off grid in remote Alaska, sharing our experiences either building in a challenging environment, hunting, fishing, trapping, and family time, just to name a few, and so many more adventures. What are we waiting for? Let's go! Every day should start off with a nice breakfast, and let's take a look at how we do things in the morning here. So a little bit of personal care here at the cabin. I first will use a makeup wipe to remove my makeup, because after all, I still put a little bit on, usually. And I do have my mirror over here and some lighting. And the beauty of this is that I can move that. So our wire is coming in handy. Alright, so after that, I use my Alaska Salt Company sea salt toner and just kind of clean my face with that using my loofah. You know, after all, water isn't a huge supply we have here, but making sure that I am getting clean is important, and I'm sure that's a common thought. What do you do to stay clean? How do you take care of your hygiene? So here we are. And after that, some warm water from the tea kettle, soap, and a washcloth. And I like to call this pits, tits, and naughty bits. And that's how we get clean here. Whenever we need to, just do a little bit of refreshing in between a bigger cleanse, which we will show you, hopefully eventually, our actual shower setup. But first, we've got Christmas to cover. Smells better already. And then a little rinse. And that is how you get clean in a pinch at an off-grid cabin. Ta-da! Now that I'm all clean, and although I don't wear a lot of makeup, I do wear just a little bit, so it's time to apply some makeup ever so briefly in this cute little corner of my cabin that is my own little personal grooming area. Classic style I've been rocking for many years, being a early 90s baby over here. Eyebrows, a little bit of eyeliner, some mascara, and voila! Ready to go. Nice and simple. Nothing over the top. Now that I'm ready for the day and can shift over to taking care of breakfast cleanup, Cameron's going to get ready to go out trapping. So first, get those boots on. Then he gets those Carhartt overalls on. They are insulated. They are built so they can go on over top of the boots, and they have zippers on the side, which makes it super convenient. After the overalls are on, it's time to layer up on the top half. So he puts on a bollie and then a nice heavy jacket, which it's much colder down there in the valley. And of course, we have lots of predators, so it's really important that he's carrying a firearm with him out into the wilderness. Gloves are important, of course, and then he also wears over mitts that are OR. He's going to use the dog sled today so that he can carry out some trapping supplies easily. Now that he's dressed, he's going to warm up the snow machine before he goes into the valley and checks his traps. It is 20 below and chilly, so the proper gear is really important. As you can see over top of his volley, he does have a regular winter hat, and then those are his OR gloves that are the over mitts as well. But now that he's going to give it a few minutes to warm up, he's about ready to hit the trail. And off he goes. We won't have any communication during this time, and I can't hear him when he's deep in the valley, but I can generally know when he's about on his way up as he gets closer to that wood line, so we'll just keep an ear out for him. He could be gone anywhere from an hour to several hours, depending on how difficult it is to reset his traps and unbury them and check them and whatever the conditions might entail. While he's gone trapping, I switch over and take care of the cabin. So to do dishes, now we have this setup. You saw me kind of build it, not quite while it was being made. However, it is a marine pump, foot pump. And so when we pump this pump, it sucks the water from this bucket and our sink drains into this bucket. We still have room for our trash. We just have it hooked up with the one. We can change our temperature by adding warmer water there and give it a pump, and we have running water. Although we do have running water now, which is so incredibly exciting and has made doing dishes so much easier. For our cast iron, it's super handy out here with limited water that we can just wipe them down, give them a good wipe down, and hang them back up for our next use. I absolutely love this fact about having our cast iron. It makes cleaning up after our meals so much easier. When he goes out and checks the traps in the morning, that's when I take the opportunity to clean up everything after our meals. Before that, we're just kind of spending time together. So when I'm on my own, it's cleanup time, and that includes wiping everything down after every meal. And I love having a small little kitchen space because it doesn't take too entirely long. However, with it being small, I do need to keep up on it to make sure it's always clean because we need every inch of the surface for whatever we are working on, and having it covered in oil isn't exactly ideal. As I've mentioned before, having running water is the biggest game changer. In the last episode, you watched me kind of describe how I set it up, and now you get to see me using it. This is so convenient being hands-free now, being able to run our water. Sure, it's not running in the sense that it's plumbed and it's, pulling water through like a normal sink would. However, my foot being able to power this and use the water when I need it in order to do dishes is so, so nice. Also, it helps me control how much water I'm using so that I can better conserve as well. So that's really fantastic overall, and I absolutely love this upgrade. We waited so long to be able to do it. Now that all the dishes are washed and the oven is cleaned up, it's time to wipe down all of our counter space. While we don't have a lot, I mentioned that it's really important for me to keep it nice and clean and tidy because we use every inch of it throughout the day and it doesn't take too long. Our island is where we primarily choose to eat all of our meals. In winter, it's closer to the wood stove, and the table ends up catching a lot of our winter gear all the time. So I am constantly wiping this down and keeping it nice and clean. And then we enjoy all of our meals, all of our crafts, and literally games, everything you can imagine. This is like the focal point of where we spend our time at the cabin. Thanks for joining us on one of our cabin mornings.
Thanks for joining us.
Give us a like and subscribe and follow for our next adventures on Wild and Free
Interior Alaska.